Progress Test, Unit 4. Speaker 1.
Our neighbourhood is home to a 3-mile stretch of disused railway line, which has become a wasteland. It's overgrown with tangled weeds and sprayed with graffiti. But the worst thing about it is the rubbish, and the fact that it has evolved into a place where gangs hang out at night and people are scared to go. We were sick and tired of this ugly place, so about a year ago, a group of local residents got together. We wanted to initiate a project to transform the railway line into a park. After all, there's a wonderful park on an old railway line in Paris and another one in New York. So why not our city? We knew it would be difficult to raise funding because the local government is cutting spending at the moment. So we put our scheme on a crowdfunding website. We were amazed to get donations from people all over the world. I mean, it's not as if most of these people will ever be using the park. We wanted to give these people something in return for their donations, but the problem was what? Then a local artist painted a picture of the park as it's going to look. By next month, we'll have made prints of this picture, and we'll be sending these to each person who donates or has donated over £50. It's just a little way to say thank you to all the people who have helped us to surpass our fundraising goals.
Speaker 2.
I was playing with my cousin's baby one day, watching him knock into walls in his hard plastic baby walker, when I suddenly had an idea. Since then, I've designed a new kind of baby walker that changes shape to fit through doorways. I went online and found a website that crowdfunded new inventions, but I soon had some problems. You had to upload plans for your idea, giving as much detail as possible, with a video clip and some computer designs of the invention. What surprised me was how well presented a great deal of the ideas on the website were. This worried me too, because I'm not good at graphic design or making videos. I just didn't know how to make a whole, effective presentation for my invention, and without that, I knew I wouldn't get much funding. Then a friend showed me another website called Quirky. Quirky encourages you to develop your idea with other people who use the website. I soon linked up with a few people who helped me with the graphic design and video in return for a small percentage of the eventual profits. Together, we'll have finished the presentation soon, and then we'll be loading it onto the website. After that, all I can do is hope that my invention will attract a lot of investment.
Speaker 3.
Recently, on my healthy eating blog, I criticised companies for using meat products which contain loads of growth hormones like RBGH because they're dangerous. Unfortunately, I also named a few of those companies. I think the article made a lot of good points, but I didn't expect it would cause much of a stir. Then, one company wrote to say that they would be taking legal action. What surprised us all was how seriously they took it. After all, it's only a blog that not many people will have read, and when it comes down to it, people write similar articles all the time. The company will no doubt have decided to make an example of me, but my problem is how to get legal help. I don't have any relatives who are lawyers or anything, and nor do my friends. Legal cases can cost a great deal of money, so it's not as if I can pay for a lawyer. Luckily, some of my friends at college had the idea of crowdsourcing my legal case. So we sent details of the case to LexShares. LexShares is a crowdfunding website which connects people to lawyers who are willing to give some of their time for free. They often take on David and Goliath cases, like mine, which involve an ordinary person versus a big, powerful company. I haven't heard back from them yet, but I'm hopeful they'll help.
Speaker 4.
I've been offered a place at university to study English literature, but it's my second degree, so I'd have to pay for it, and course costs have skyrocketed recently. I didn't know what to do until I heard about a crowdfunding website called Pigit. The website connects potential students, which it calls dreamers, with investors, called believers, most of which are companies that sponsor people. You post your details on Pigit, mentioning what you'd like to study, why and where. People then read your profile and decide whether to sponsor you by giving money directly to the institution where you'll be studying. What really amazed me is that, unlike other crowdfunding websites which organise student loans, with Pigit you're under no obligation at all to repay your investors. Having said that, people are asked to try and find some way of repaying the generosity of others. For example, someone studying art could repay people by sending them a small piece of their artwork. Or a person who received sponsorship from a company could go and work there for a while after they graduated. Anyway, I've loaded my profile on the website, but the problem now is waiting to hear if I'm going to be sponsored or not. I can't really get on with my life until I know if I'll be studying at university next year or continuing in my boring job. It's going to be a very nervous month waiting.
Speaker 5.
Last year on holiday, I stayed for a while with an Ecuadorian family in Guayaquil. There, I ran into a neighbour's son who had terrible scars on his face. He had been bitten by sandflies and had contracted a disease from them. The disease is called cutaneous leishmaniasis, and a cure for it exists if it is treated very quickly. But by the time Manolo recovered, it had left his face in need of plastic surgery. Without an expensive operation, his scars would have been permanent, having a drastic impact on his whole life. I felt profoundly sorry for Manolo, so I went on a popular crowdfunding website and started a campaign to raise money for an operation. I was touched and surprised by how much generosity we experienced from total strangers. By and large, people were willing to pledge quite large amounts too. The main difficulty was actually convincing the family to go ahead with the operation. Understandably, they were nervous about doing it, because I don't think they trusted me at first. Was I really out to help their son? Would there be any hidden costs later? Anyway, after a lot of telephone calls, I convinced them to go ahead and explain the ins and outs of the procedure. By the end of this month, it will have been 3 months since the operation, which was a great success. After the summer holidays, Manolo will be going back to school.